Finding Darren several weeks into the job, how are you finding it?
Yeah, I'm loving it. It's good. The players have given us, the football club, everything they possibly could give. It's been a difficult run-in, but I think when you see the games that we've played in, every game we could have won.
I'm just speaking to you before we came on. You're very passionate and clearly you want to throw your hat into the ring for the job permanently.
Oh, I mean, that's not something I'm worried about. My job is to get results. I think so far I've produced good performances, and the players have given me everything, and that's the main thing that I have to focus on. I mean, you can worry about who the next manager can be, and I can keep saying I want to be the manager, but let's be honest, it's a results business, and I can handle that pressure.
How much of a difference have you seen in the players since you've taken over?
I've seen a big difference. I've seen a big change. I mean, you could see that in performances. I think the supporters would probably back me on that. I think we've been a little bit unfortunate that we've not got our first win. I think because both games, league games now, we could have won. I know Stevenage, the FA Cup was a win when we hadn't won since September, but it sort of detracts that it was a bigger win because obviously we had Carlisle, and even though I think it's a fantastic tie that we can win, it wasn't as big as if we had got Chelsea. So it's not going to be easy this year. It's going to be difficult, but the group of players that we've got are showing a real good fight to make sure that this football club stays in the league, and that's the main objective. No matter what goes on, no matter what anyone says, the main objective is that this football club stay in the Football League.
What have you changed since coming in?
I've just tried to be myself. I've tried to be confident. I mean, I've studied the game off some top managers. They've been giving me help, advice, and I feel very fortunate to have that, and that's been transferred through to the players.
I mean, going forward, have you had any conversations with the chairman about what happens in the future?
Yeah, I've been speaking to him on a regular basis, and he's been very supportive. I said, whoever takes over this job needs help, and he's been giving me that help, that support. You're going to make mistakes. There ain't a manager up and down the country that don't make mistakes. But if you actually sit down and work together, it's surprising, whether it be the players or whether it be the manager upstairs to the boardroom. If you work together, you'd be surprised at what you can achieve. And as I said to the players, the main objective is stay in the Football League, and we've got to do everything that we can to get that.
I mean, the fact that there's a slight uncertainty about what might happen going forward, but does that change anything in terms of you putting together transfer targets and stuff like that for January?
I think if it's me, then I've got to put what I think should be put in place. I think if I didn't, then there would be no future for me. So I'm going to do everything that I can to make sure the squad is stable, the squad's good enough to stay in the Football League, and attack it like I normally attack life. And that's positive, that's being strong, and I'm enjoying every minute of it.
So the way you're working, are you kind of going along the lines of it's as if you're here permanently and then just work from there?
Sir Alex told me, I spoke to him the other day, he said never worry about getting the sack. I went, I ain't even got the job yet. So I think that's from the main man. I think if you worry about that, of course the press want to constantly have a story to talk about. They want to be talking about that. We're in the southwest, you know, people from the southwest are linked, but I know what I've done, and I know what the players have done and what they've achieved in a short space of time. And when I go home at night and I close my eyes, I know I've been giving it everything that I got. If the powers that be change that, then so be it. You move on, but it's important the club gain results to stay in the Football League. All this talk about this manager, that manager and my manager, let's focus on one thing, keep the club in the Football League, and I'm part of that process as it stands right now.
Must be quite a big deal as well to be getting advice from someone as the likes of Sir Alex.
Yeah, he's I mean, it's. I said in the interview, I was on the bus with 20 odd players at the time, and I think the bus driver was earwigging. So it was a strange situation when you take a call from someone who's been there, seen it, done the T-shirt. But to give me the advice that he'd given me was pretty special, and I'll cherish that moment for a long time.
Right, moving forward, Plymouth on Boxing Day, big game, top of the table. They're going to be a tough opponent.
They've all been tough opponents, but I think now there's a belief within the squad that we can win. Before, I think we hoped to win, and that's a big difference, and I think performances have shown that. I mean, you look at the games, and we've had a few referee decisions that I think have been poor. That could have changed the whole way that the club had thought. It's been a difficult running, but I think there's been large steps of moving it forward.
And obviously, with them being top of the table, we know it's going to be tough, but what do you know about them as a team, and what can you expect from them?
I mean, they're good on the counter-attack. They got good players, creative. They can score goals. They're solid, and but I've also identified their weaknesses that we'll be working on. Just the same as Leyton Orient, just the same as Barnet, just the same as Stevenage and Oxford. So we'll do our homework, but we'll be going there looking to win the game.
And how's the squad at the moment? Any injuries to report, or any players coming back?
It's nice. I mean, some of the players might train today, which is good. And they're all excited, they all want to be involved, and it's a nice place to be at the moment.
And obviously the festive period. Is there Christmas Day training as well?
Yes, we're in Christmas Day. We talked about sacrifices, and some people say, are they sacrifices? I mean, it's your living, it's your job, so it's, I'd say, choices. And we've decided to make sure we're in on Christmas Day to do everything that we can to go to Plymouth and make sure we're mentally and physically prepared.
Is it tough sometimes being obviously a player or a manager around this time of year? Obviously, players got to be away from families and stuff like that.
It depends on how long you've been in the game. If you've been in the game for a long time, it's one of those things that you get used to, and it's part and parcel of the job. You get enough time off in the summer to enjoy yourself, but this festive period, people, they sort of organise their whole Christmas around football, and it's important we make sure we give the fans something.
Obviously, you're returning to your hometown, isn't it?
Yeah, it's good. It'd be good to go back there. I think they're always going to get a good crowd. Plymouth being top of the league is good, so the atmosphere will be good, but we'll make sure we focus on what we got to do to win the game.
And looking slightly more ahead, you've got Oxford coming up as well. That's another tough one.
Yeah, I mean, if you looked at the running before, people would probably say you're mad taking the job on the back of the run of results that we had, but I believe that this squad is enough to show that fighting spirit, and they've not let us down yet. They haven't. They've been absolutely spot on, and as I said before, apart from one or two other decisions that could have gone our way, we could be sat here now in a different story, but we know what we've got to do. We climbed off the bottom, and we'll make sure we believe in what the main objective is, and that's to stay in the Football League. It may not be this week, it may not be next week, but we'll do it.
And just in terms of transfer targets, have you drawn up a list for January, and what about loans as well? Any extensions to report?
Yeah, I've got loans. Obviously, I've been speaking to managers that want to help you, and I had a history over the years of knowing Martinez and Shane Duffy and players like John Lundstrom. You can see the Swansea connections, Sean McDonald, Liam Shepherd. So the contacts that I have, as I said before, they've been helping me. So it'll be interesting to see if January opens up, how much help I can really get.
Okay, thank you very much.
Spoke about speaking to Sir Alex and just mentioned Martinez there. We know your contacts at Swansea. Just how useful is it speaking to managers like that who have been there and done it when you were just starting out in your own career?
I think it's important because of the motivation side of it. I mean, when managers go in, it's easy to say, right, we're going to do this today, but how do you motivate a group of players that have been losing? Now, I know when I've spoken to Martinez, he had a long spell at Wigan where his whole career at Wigan was about survival, and he won the FA Cup, but he knew what the main objective was. There was no panic at Wigan. I mean, if you look at Wigan now, when he left, it was a free-for-all, but he knew what the objective was, and it wasn't about winning every week. And at the moment, this club's dealing with some real adversity, and it ain't going to be winning every week. And any supporter that thinks it's going to be winning every week, how's that going to change overnight? It's not. But what you need is your group of players that believe in what the main objective is, and they see light at the end of the tunnel, and that's gain every point. And they've been doing that so far. And whether that happens in 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, it don't matter whether it ends on the last day. This club's got to stay in the Football League. And these players are showing a fighting spirit, a cleverness to make sure that they can do that. And we can talk and go round the houses, but that's what's got to be done.
And when you speak to top managers like that, is there a common theme between them that makes them so good?
Yeah, hard work and graft. That's what makes them the best at what they do. Anything, there's got to be a cleverness to it. But every manager's got different resources to work with. And it's about creating that environment, a winning environment, with the resources that you've got to work with. And that's what I'm trying to do.
And just finally, we saw Chris Giles at Leyton Orient on Saturday. Is he helping you out and your backroom staff at the moment?
Yeah, I mean, because of we're a man down with the stuff that I had to do, he's been helping, and he's been at the club. He knows the history, which I think is important. He's someone that I can trust. And if you give him a task, 9 times out of 10 he carries it out, and that's what you need right now. So he's a good lad to have.
Is that a temporary thing, or is it maybe something that could be more full-time in the future?
I mean, it's temporary at the moment. I don't even think the chairman knows, so we'll have to keep that quiet. No, it's good. It's good to have people around that you can trust and who you know.